welcome back to my life with plants. I'm Newman. This is quite a cold spring morning, although we do get a lot of those. It goes in and out from rather warm to cold. What we are going to check out is this. Finally, Cymbidium goeringii is in flower, and all of these flowers point downward, which makes it a little bit tricky to show you, but we will try. We are there. Get to appreciate this beautiful native orchid of Japan. And this one is planted in the ground, and let me tell you that they do much better when you do so. Having them in pots is just, it's very hard to grow this particular orchid in a pot. They do much better in the ground, and this soil is very well draining. It grows underneath the shrub. This thing is just looking magnificent, and typically the flowers do point down. They point this way towards their pollinators, which are small insects. They get attracted to the flowers and come up into the throat of the orchid there, and this will be pollinated. Definitely. It has pollinators, and it is native to this area as well. Quite widespread in Japan. Well, look, we have our first sleeters. They've come out. Okay, so this, as far as I know, is about 2 years ago. It's had 2 or 3 seed pods. It distributed seed in the garden, however, it's disturbed here all the time. Got a few weeds that I can't help but want to pull out. It's just a non-stop process of keeping the garden tidy. And they do have fragrance, so put some leaf litter in there too. So these particular orchids can handle temperatures right down to minus 20 degrees, which is what they put up with in the far north of Hokkaido. They're just a marvel of an orchid, completely adapted to life here in Japan. This is Japan's native. Loves a lovely lemony fragrance too. This just looking magnificent. Okay, moving along. It's kind of cold, but it's bearable. Right, I'm going to get wet if I go that way, so I'll go this way. It's still a bit early for the bulbs. We've got another Cymbidium goeringii here. However, this one is quite a new division done last year. But what we're really here for is to have a look at these native monoliformes that have been mounted onto this tree. I'm hoping to catch a glimpse of buds. Though I don't have my reading glasses on, I would presume that they are covered in buds. These are just little miniature things. Tiny, tiny. Got one in this fork here. Also, I got one here. And I'm pretty sure that I spot buds on it. There was a little moss I did put in there before I mounted these to this tree. You can see the buds there. I'm going to point with my thumbnail. 1, 2. They're still covered in a sheath around the bud, which makes them hard to see. Keeps the birds away too. Got one here too. There's stainless steel staple nails that hold it in place. We do have a Neophoenicia ocata. One right up in the top there. It's way too high for me to see if it has buds or not. So there we have it. This tree has all its orchids, native Dendrobium moniliformes. And the hope in the future is that this one's quite low down actually. Look how low down it is to the ground. It's just about a foot or so. Yeah, the hope is that they keep flowering and developing seed pods, and they grow naturally in the garden. There's some blossoms on this native tree of Japan. Latila striata coming up. Some blossoms on a bonsai. Christmas roses, helleborus, which are not native to Japan. This native, very large leafed, it's got a almost raniform orbicular leaf. Connected to the bottom of the leaf of the stem, and then we have this pretty impressive looking flower structure. Some more Cymbidium goeringii. One is in bud. This one is still in the pot. It's been submerged into the ground. Here we have, and it survived, which is great. See, there's some new growth here. This is a native orchid. Torsaiense, Dendrobium torsaiense. It survived the winter with flying colors. This Dendrobium has been fattening up. This is its flower. And this one. It's one of the Dendrobiums moniliformes that did it surprisingly well. Really budded up a lot. A nice display. And this is a Dendrobium nobile type. It is yet to bud up. Moniliforme. This particular Dendrobium moniliforme is going to have a magnificent bloom coming up. It will be absolutely smothered. Delicate flowers. Looking at this particular hybrid between the moniliforme and a nobile type, I wonder if it still has some buds on it after the birds had a feast, decimated most of its buds. And right there They're very hard to see. There's another. I can catch a glimpse of that. Another orchid hanging out there. Dendrobium jenkinsonii. Remnants of my Bulbophyllum japonicum. The reason why it did not make it is this is not high altitude, and it required a lot more, well, a lot more moisture over the winter. There's a Neophoenicia fulcatus. Okay, that's the update. And I have to go in now, but thanks for watching. I'll just catch a glimpse of this one here. It does have buds on the way. This one's going to have lovely dark purpley pink flowers on it. And of course, later GCI, which is not native to Japan, but it does really well here in the winter. It's going to be one of the orchids that grows in the garden with all the others very well. I think I bumped into something. My shoulder's all muddy. Alright. You see here that the Blatila orchids are starting to come out. These are very hard to keep healthy in a pot. They will have to be planted out into the garden. This is what's left of a very run-down old plant of a Cymbidium goeringii. And these parts of it are actually nice and healthy. They'll keep growing. It's just going to take a few years for it to become big and healthy enough. We have one of our first slugs come out. They have a nibble. And down here in this pot, it has nothing to show at all. There's actually little bulbs of the one and only native begonias. So once it starts growing, it'll be planted into the garden. It'll make lovely, big, luscious carpets of begonias to enjoy. You see here that this is starting to grow now. It's part of a rhizome. We got a nasty big slug there. It's decided to come out. Down there, still looking nice and healthy, is the native Phaeus flavus. which is pretty hard to see because I got all this netting and I'm running out of time. We will do an update on that. But there's a lot of new growth coming away on it. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll do further updates pretty soon. Until next time, bye bye.